呪術廻戦
Okay, let's read chapter 166 of Jujutsu Kaisen, Tokyo Daiichi Colony, the Tokyo #1 colony. Part 6, we're starting here with the flashback with Higuruma. The previous chapter ended with Itadori asking for a retrial, getting it, and immediately confessing to the murders of all the people in Shibuya, which caused Judgy Man to say guilty, confiscation, and death penalty. And that's where we had chapter ended. Current chapter here is starting with a flashback. Higuruma-kun. Higuruma-kun. So someone is calling his name. Oh, this is the older guy. And because he's older, he's calling him kun. Yoshizawa-san, Mr. Yoshizawa. Kian nara sakihodo teishutsu shimashita ka? Okay, so if it's the Kion, if it's the plan, the draft, if it's the draft earlier submitted did, but sakihodo teishutsu. Teishutsu is to like submit or yeah. So if it's about the draft, I submitted it earlier, but chigao. No. It's different. Something else. Shomen wa mita yo. As for the papers, saw. So this draft is some paper. So as for the paper, I saw it, Subarashi. It's wonderful. Sonomama hantei toshite tsukaeru kurai da. As it is, or as it was, for judgment, for deciding, able to use it to that extent. Yeah, so basically, as for the paper, I saw it, it's wonderful, basically able to use it to the extent that I could use it as a judgment as it was. Again, hanketsu. Judicial decision. Kimi wa tashika kensatsukan ka bengoshi o shibo shite ta ne? Okay, as for you, certainly, assuredly, a kensatsukan. That's like prosecutor now, right? Kensatsukan. Yeah. Public prosecutor, or as a lawyer wishing to do work, aren't you? So as for you, certainly you're wishing to do work as a lawyer or as a public prosecutor? Hai, yes. Do kana? How is it, I wonder? How is it, I wonder? Meaning kind of like, have you thought about other things? How is it? How is that? Saibankan o mezashite minai ka? Will you not try aiming for judge officer? Okay, yeah. Saibankan, being a judge, basically. Saibankan, the office of the judge. So presumably this is a judge, and he's asking Higuruma about his like future career plans, and saying like, why aren't you trying to be a judge? Now we know from what we've seen that he was not a judge, he stayed a prosecutor. We're now back to the present. You can see the flashback is fading back to present, and we're getting a recap of the end of the previous chapter. So, guilty, yuzai, having guilt, confiscation, and desu penalty, shike, death penalty, confiscation. Now, Higuruma is a bit, right, he looks a bit shocked, and obviously Judge Man looks horrible here. Okay, the gavel, this like radiant light comes out, sound, and it says, Shike ni no tsurugi, sword of the execution person. So this is sword of the executioner, or executioner's sword. The gavel turns into a blade, in other words, to execute, because of the death penalty, presumably. ジャッジマンから課される最も重い罰、コンフィスケーションを付加されたデスペナルティ。From Judge Man being, what was casa here? Being inflicted. The most heavy penalty. The most heavy penalty being inflicted or being passed down, imposed from Judge Man is confiscation with the addition being done of death penalty. So both of those things together is the most severe, heavy, whatever, judgment from judgment, penalty. It should be confiscation, right? Yeah. Confiscation により、術式至りの場合、重力の使用が不可能な状態で、due to confiscation, or because of confiscation, the technique, the curse technique, or for Itadori's case, in the case of Itadori, cursed energy, use not possible condition. So we learned that in the previous chapter, or the chapter before that, that confiscation removes the technique, or in Itadori's case, removes ability to use cursed energy to control it. It's that condition of not making impossible the use. 日車に処刑人を剣が与えられる and being granted to Higuruma the sword of the executioner. So that's what the two pieces are. So both of these things are happening. 処刑人の剣に切られたものは As for people slayed or cut by the executioner's sword, 例外なく必ず死に至る. Without exception, absolutely does death. 例外なく, so exception, outside accepting not existing. Without exception, absolutely, without fail, they will die. As for any person cut or slain by the executioner's sword. Okay. 人の心に寄り添う。それは人の弱さを理解するということだ。Okay, 寄り添う. That means to like, not commiserate, to get in close, to cuddle close together, to snuggle up to. Okay. The soul there means to like accompany and then to visit, draw near. So like drawing near, cuddling up close to the kokoro of people. As for that, a person's weakness, understanding it's that sort of event. So another way to put this is getting close to a person's kokoro, their heart, mind, spirit, is the thing called understanding their weaknesses. 被害者の弱さ、加害者の弱さ、毎日ずっとショック症だった。The wounded person's weakness, the victim's weakness, the kagaisha, which is the one that inflicted the wound, so the accuser's weakness. Yeah, the assailant, the perpetrator, the wrongdoers, the weakness of the victim, the weakness of the perpetrator, every day, continuously shokusho. It was shokusho, which is to have one's fill. Yeah, being fed up. Getting fed with it every day, dealing with this. Nikui. nikui, mikui, ugly, difficult to look at. Tani ni ayumiyoru tabi so omou you ni natte shimatta. Okay, so ugly. Other people, ayumi yoru tabi, like the moment of seeming to walk. No, what is arumi? Ayumi. Set up to compromise to meet halfway. To other people, I guess like each time? Is that what tabi mean here? Yeah. So like that way thinking in that manner it became in the manner of thinking that way, ugly, thinking that way, ugly, every time meeting halfway with other people, compromising with other people. That's how it became for him. Kimi mo da. It's you also. Itarori. Hito wa minna yowaku minikui. As for people, all of them, everyone is weak and ugly. Omae ga donna ni kouketsu na tamashi o nozomo tomo. You, however, like, what is this? Like, high aspiration, high quality, kouketsu, high purity. Yeah, high purity. Of a soul trying to wish for. So like no matter how much you try to wish for a pure soul, it's everyone is weak and ugly, even you. Sono saki ni wa nani mo nai. As for otherwise does not exist. There's nothing. Yeah, after that, beyond that, there's nothing. Me no mae no yami wa tada no yami da. As for the darkness before the eyes, it's just darkness. Me no mae no yami wa tada no yami da. Yeah, me no mae no yami wa. As for the darkness before your eyes, it's just darkness. Akari o tomo shita tokoro de. At the point of doing shining of like clarification of a light. He's using, I wouldn't say poetic words here, but at the place of having turned on light, mata mabushi kyomu ga hirogatteru. Still the mabushi, which is void, nothingness. No, that's kyomu. The hollow nothingness. The dazzling, radiant nothingness, void, kyomu. Spreads, widens. Yeah, okay, so this is kind of linked. As for the darkness before the eyes, it's just darkness. Even at the point where you're shining a light on it, it's again a dazzling void that spreads before you, that sort of thing, or spreading out. Okay, so something's happening here. Itarori's running over here. Oh, okay. And he's apparently chucking a bunch of chairs. Doka. It's like kicking all the chairs, I guess, his way. Okay, and then I guess he took off his hoodie and threw it in there as well as a distraction, maybe? Took off his shirt. Yeah. So Itadori knows he's in trouble here. He's just fighting now. he may not know the whole thing about the executioner's sword unless it's not clear. This thing about the warning, people that are sliced by the sword, this looks like narration, so I don't think it's necessarily been stated. Anyway, we saw that already. I guess that's Itadori there. All right, doing lots of fancy moves. I'm moving fast when we can because the dialogue is often so dense. If the chairs are still flying around, apparently, like all that is happening in a very short instant here. Okay, coming in on each other. Flashback. Back to the flashback. Sumimasen. I'm sorry. 自分は裁判官にはなれません. So this is Higuruma responding to the question about being a judge. Sorry, as for oneself, as for to the judge, will not become. I will not become a judge. Oneself will not become a judge. So ka. Is that so? I see. Ichioryu okiko ka. Shall I hear like a reason? Ichio, isn't that like a tentative, or for the time being, a response like, can I hear it? Shall I hear it? Kind of a polite way of asking to hear the reason. Hito wa mina yowaku minikui. We get that statement again. As for people, all of them, ugly, weak and ugly. ... 出世に興味のない自分には向いていません. Okay, so the interest does not exist towards 出世. Like getting ahead, a successful career. As for to oneself. As for to oneself, like no interest in getting ahead, having a successful career. Not suited for it. I'm not suited for it. 向いていません. だが、あの時は少なくともあの時までは. However, as for that time, or at least up until that time. However, as for that time.
Hello there.
Or as for at least up until that time. 他の生物にはないその汚れこそ. As for to the life of others, as for to the 他の生物には, no, as for to the other living creatures. As for to other living creatures, that kegare, especially, that uncleanliness, that impurity. Wait, okay. 他の生物にはない. As for to other living creatures not existing, that uncleanliness, that disgrace in particular. However, as for at that time, as for up until at least that time, as for to other living creatures not existing, that impurity, ... 尊ぶべきだと思っていたんだ. Was thinking that it was tobu. Valuing, ought to value. Oh, I was thinking that I ought to value it up at that time, or at least up until that very time. I was thinking that I ought to value that impurity that doesn't exist in other life forms. Okay. Something like that. Naze da? Why is it? Itaro de yuji. Naze tsumi o mitometa? Why confirmed the crime or the sin? Why did you confirm or mitome in this is like recognize? Why did you recognize, approve of the sin, the crime? Judgment kara teishutsu sareta shoko o jouhou wa? From Judgeman, the submission draft being done of the information of evidence. Kaifu mae kara jutsushi honnin ni wa kyouyu sareru. Before the opening of the ceiling. Kaifu. Yeah, before breaking of the seal. As for with the sorcerer proper, the person themselves, mutual use is done, or mutual access is done. Yeah, joint ownership is done. So, in other words, he gets to know the information as well before it gets formally revealed. Teishutsu sareta shoko wa? The submitted being done evidence. As for the evidence that was submitted, Kimi no naka ni suku akuma. Okay, it was. Okay. As for the evidence that was submitted, it was the demon nesting inside of you. Suku in this case, that's to make a nest. Yeah, to build a nest. Which is weird because suku would normally be to rescue or save, but different kanji. Yeah. As for the evidence that was submission that was done, the demon nesting inside of you, sukuna ni tsuite. It was about sukuna. The evidence. Omae wa kuroshite nai. Kuroshite nai. As for you, not killing. So basically, you weren't the ones doing the killing. Naze da. Why is it? Naze. Why? In other words, why did you say that you were guilty? Oh. Okay, that's Itadori. That's Higuruma. And then whoop, that's the sword going away. Remember, he can make it vanish at will. Huh. Okay, so he did that on purpose. He is conflicted by Itadori's decision. Gil, cough. Huh? Oi, hey. Keiho 39 Joichi Koda. So, like death code, penal code, chapter 39, clause, paragraph 1. That's what it is. Benshiki nōryoku to seigyo nōryoku izure ka ga kaketeru to shinshin soushitsu to naru. Okay. This is all law speak. So let's see what we have here. Ben Shiki. Wait. Ben Shiki no? Huh. That's not going to be Pen Shiki. Ben Shiki. No results. Ben Shiki. Well, this is sort of like, what would this be? Like law use ability? The Ben is the same Ben as bengoshi, meaning lawyer. Which is like discrimination, to be able to discriminate, distinguish. So discriminate knowledge ability and seigyo no ryoku, control ability. So like ability to distinguish ability and the control ability, seigyo no ryoku. Izure ka. Either, any of those or either of those. Kateru to, if they're lost, it becomes shinshin soshitsu. Okay. This is being of unsound mind. All right, so that makes sense. Either the case of the ability to distinguish things or to control things, if either of those is lost, it becomes being of unsound mind. Shibuya de no kimi wa. As for you in Shibuya, sukuna ni nikutai o no toraereteita. As for you in Shibuya, by Sukuna, the physical body was hijacked, was taken over by Sukuna. Nande Sukuna no koto. So Itadori starts to say, why things about Sukuna, meaning like, do you know? Higuruma interrupts and continues, Tsumari, what that means is, seigyo no ryoku ga nakatta. The control ability became nothing. You had no ability to control. Jihatsu teki ni seigyo no ryoku o hoki shita wake de mo nai. So there was no reason even to expect hoki, abandonment of control ability, like voluntarily. Jihatsu teki. Spontaneous voluntarily. Yeah, so voluntarily, control ability. As for doing abandonment, no reason to expect that. Tsumari, what that means is, muzai da. It's muzai. Not guilty. Absence of guilt. Kimi ni tsumi wa nai. As for crime, sin does not exist. There is no crime in you. Demo yappari ore no sei da. But as I thought, it's my fault. Ore ga, I'm the one. Yowai sei da. It's the fault of being weak, me. It's because I was weak. So ka? I see. Is that so? Higuruma, nande sakki jutsushiki o toitanda? So Higuruma, why earlier deactivated technique? So he's asking him like why he turned off his sword. Shoshin ni kaetta? Shoshin ni kaetta. A return to the first heart? To the first kokoro? Yeah, like going back home to the first like feeling. That's not a good word. Shoshi. Original intent. A return to the original intent initial resolution. Itarori. Gata. お前のような弱さを持つ人間がまだまだいるのかもしれん。Like you, weak holding people, humans that possess weakness like yours, still existing maybe. Okay, so this is some with the flashback of him talking about why he became a lawyer, not a judge, and all this. This seems to be going back to like his original like feelings that he probably wanted to help people that were weak. And instead, all he ever saw were people that were guilty. And he finally meets someone that is what I think he originally wanted to do when he became a lawyer. So that's why he's saying, and also, so all the more, there may be people like you. Fuku o kiro. Wear clothes. Put your clothes on. Soste suware. And then sit. Hyakuten o yaru. Will do, will give 100 points. I'll give you 100 points. Paka. Atta. Oh, Paka. That's his hoodie, Parker. Paka. There it is. Atta. Itarori. 自分の意思で人を殺めたことはあるか? Ayameru is also a form of that we don't see very often. That's to kill. To wound, to murder. You can tell from the kanji. It's just a different pronunciation. This is like through one's own will, through one's own volition. As for events of killing people, does it exist? So this is basically, have you voluntarily killed people? Have you killed people because you, through your own will? Meaning, the Shibuya incident was Sukuna, but have you killed people otherwise? Aruyo. Yes, it does exist. Do those events exist? They exist. So ka? I see. Is that so? Sayaku no kibun dattaro. It's the worst, the most wicked feeling. It was, wasn't it? Right? Wow. Okay, so he's... All right, that's the end of the chapter. So, suddenly got really serious. What is this about 1,000 needles? Anyway, there you go. If you want to read something else. Have we met that person yet? I don't think we have. All right. Well, anyway, that was 166. Next, we'll see 167. Maybe they'll continue to have kind of like a session with each other. We'll find out next time.